Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. We have a Seton's Clutch game here, which I was told was extremely epic, and looking at the time that it takes, it looks like it should be extremely epic. So, if you have somewhere to be or you can't watch a really long game, then don't stay. Please watch this later or put it in your watch later list or whatever you want to do. But anyway, let's get on with this. Actually, I'm gonna keep it at 0 for the beginning. So for the top team, we've got Carlitos as a white Aeon in the back. This guy is a very strong player, basically in every game mode on every map because he has a ridiculous amount of games. We have Furball going a Seraphim on their beach because, well, not because, I was thinking of something else. Furball is also very good at Navy and at front. He's not the best air player, but very strong on Setons. We've got UD12, a Japanese player that I've never seen before, but not the best rating, but seems to be a new person on Seton's Clutch, so he's taking up the middle and looks like he knows exactly what to do. He's got, actually, yeah, he's just got one NG going to the middle. And Stalewi, he's a player that I've seen a few times in game, and he's pretty good, so he's taking up Rock for the top team. Now on the bottom we've got a Dark Equinox, yeah, there we go, Dark Equinox. He's going UEF in the middle against the Seraphim of UD, so UEF in middle can be kind of tough, but you can make it work if you're going to play defensive. We have the Muffin Man, also known as Killing Ink, very experienced player, so surely knows what to do on Setons. And he's taking a beach. He's playing against Stalewi. I have BCT at my clan member, who normally doesn't play Navy. He's a very good mid player, actually an extremely good mid player. But he's playing Rock here. He's taking on Furball. It's going to be a challenge. And the one and only SC account, playing Aeon in the back. He's been getting very good on Setons recently, so he'll be a good person to have playing on your team at any point, especially in air where he's extremely strong. So now kicking it up to +2, we're going to see if there's any sort of early fighting. But of course on Setons, the first thing to watch out for is what happens in the middle, so that was weird. UD with the very first chunks of mass reclaimed, and Dark, I'm just going to call him Blue. So Blue's coming in the middle. He hasn't really reclaimed anything yet, and this is a big mistake for him. He's stopping, and a land factory while UD is sucking up all the mass. This is going to be a very big mistake from Dark or Blue, whatever. He is starting. He's just running back and forth, and then a point defense. It's as if he doesn't know that UD has sent his ACU there as well. So a factory going up. And this is going to be extremely bad for the bottom team. They're not going to get any mass. Or if they do, it's going to be barely any. Now we have pinging going on. T-Up is telling him to suck mass and overflow, but pretty soon there won't be anything left to get, because we can see the scores now. The top scorer is Carlitos, pulling ahead of everyone else. He's the top team's back player, and I expect to see everyone else on the top team going up as well. UD is picking up the rest of the mass. It's going to be next to none left for Dark Blue. He doesn't even finish his land factor. So UD has reclaimed over 9,000. That leaves about 3,000, which has not been picked up yet by Dark. So it's pretty inconceivable that his team has received anything, and we have Furball taking the island, and he's really keeping himself alive right now with the tremendous mass boost. So if you're Beach and you choose to go to the island and your mid player gets you a whole bunch of mass, you're pretty much in good shape. If you can take the island, you're in a very good shape to deny Navy. So SC account somehow still getting a really good score, and here's something that people have been doing recently. Exploiting this. I don't really consider it an exploit, but people use it. You run scouts back and forth over the trees, and you get a massive bonus in terms of reclaim. So we'll see if Carlitos is not doing that. So even with that tremendous mass advantage, I think SC account will probably end up out-teching Carlitos just because of the reclaim that he's using, the reclaim trick with the scouts. Basically what it does is it allows you to reclaim each tree individually, Before it would reclaim things like these in groups, and it just gives you a whole bunch more mass than you would have gotten normally. So yeah, that's gonna be difficult for them to deal with, and we've got T-Up doing the same thing with his trees, and Furball is also using that trick. We have Stale Wee doing it, and I think Killing Ink might be doing this inadvertently, patrolling units back and forth, and no one else is doing that, but it's going to put him at a disadvantage. And well, actually it won't, and the top ocean is going to be pretty even as well because of that. So there are some people that say they're going to be honorable and not use the reclaim trick, but ultimately all that does is make you lose because you're going to have thousands of mass less than your opponent. And now we have some pretty intense fighting going on in the middle. Yudi on very low HP but pushing Dark back while I was talking about some random reclaim stuff. And looks like Blue is going to survive for now unless he keeps getting hit in the face with artillery the way he is now. 16 kills for him, he needs 4 more. And running in a straight line, this is not good for your health when you're facing artillery, and still they're not picking up the last chunks of mass. I'm pretty sure I saw one of the original pieces. It's that thing right there. That's one of the original pieces of mass. We have some good denying going on from Furball, attacking the production here of T-Up. He doesn't realize though that T-Up's main production is over here, which is something that you can do, although it's trickier to get your navy started over here as rock. Although sometimes it can be helpful because then there's no way that engineers are going to get in the way of your ships coming out, so it can be more efficient if you make it work out. And Furball asking some weird technical questions that no one is able to answer, and now he's just starting his navy, and he's at a very big score disadvantage. Looks like he's having trouble keeping up with T-Up. T-Up has reclaimed much more of his forest, it seems. And Furball has put a lot into his aggression. It has not really made it pay off too well. He's got 2 frigates right now as opposed to T-Up's 3, and he's at a massive disadvantage in production. And if we look at the back race, we have SC account pulling way ahead of Carlitos because of the reclaim trick. If Carlitos did that, he'd be in good shape with that amazing mass boost. And basically when you're doing this, you need a lot more factories than you would have gotten before, because you're going to need a lot more engineers and a lot more build capacity to exploit all the extra mass and see how many engineers are being put on various projects, which is getting him stuff very quickly. And SC account is almost going to have his RAS at 10:06, which is a very early time to get it on Forge Alliance Forever. And it wasn't really possible before unless you were doing some sort of air rush. Now it is certainly possible with the reclaim. I'm not going to call it a bug because it's not a bug, but it sure is a strange phenomenon. We have a really good production from Stale Wee. This is something that is nice to see. You get a whole bunch of factories with 3 or 4 NGs apiece. That's going to get you a very nice T1 naval spam, and then you get 1 factory on Tech 2 to make your destroyers and such. We have instant Tech 2 coming out from Killing Ink at minute 11. And Blue could be in a lot of trouble here. He's down to 1300. And his health is falling rapidly. He's down to 900 right now. And looks like an attack command from Yudi. I would like to see Yudi just move his units in and surround him, because now there is a veterancy bonus. And there's next to no way that Yudi's going to kill him at this point. So now a really big force of frigates, submarines, and artillery is coming out from T-Up. And they're all being converged on Furball's production. Furball coming out with a cruiser. This is absolutely the worst thing that could happen to him. So now there's no way he's going to get any Tech 2 up in time to deal with this, because that cruiser is going to be absolutely useless versus all this Tech 1 from T-Up. And T-Up looks like he's in a very good shape to take over the top ocean. And just past the 12th minute mark here. T-Up going Tech 2. Furball complaining that his game is laggy, but a big event in this game is that Yudi has been absolutely dominant in the middle, and he's now running over Blue, and I think Blue might end up getting himself killed here, and he has. So the first death happens at 12:20, and we have T-Up complaining that he should have said something. So this is going to be pretty irritating for Furball to deal with because a whole bunch of engineers are going to go down here. And the cruiser is not the right unit in this situation. So Furball is in all sorts of trouble here. He's already at a massive disadvantage in terms of eco, although Furball and Tiep are at the lowest scores. So apparently they're fighting a very low eco naval fight. And all these engineers dying are going to reduce the build capacity for Furball and make it difficult for him to get anything. So Tiep might have already taken over his side, and once this already gets involved, it's going to be over. I don't see how Furball is going to deal with that, but Furball has dropped a bunch of arty into Tiep's pond. This isn't something that you see very often, but these could probably take out a good number of mass extractors. Looks like this one's a Tech 2. Actually, all of them are a Tech 2, so this could be pretty nice from Furball. This and this could be in big risk here. And bombers being produced out of all 4 air factors for Tiep. And they have been mobilized. And do we see Tech 2 from Tiep? That's an important question to answer. We don't. It's still just Tech 1. And Tiep running in with all his artillery. That's going to kill all the engineers and all the torpedo launchers. And then the frigates will probably finish it off. Yudi's still making good progress. The middle base has been given over to Killing. Although Killing looks like he's in very big trouble against Staleway. He has almost nothing, and Staleway has a huge Tech 1 and Tech 2 force here, so if Staleway moves in, he's going to take over. Navy, he says, I hope I have enough. And I'm pretty sure he has enough here. Although a Tech 2 launcher from Killing is going to buy him some nice time. A cruiser would easily take care of that, though. And Furball getting some upgrade. Looks like it's Tech 2, but I don't see him doing anything right now. He has no Navy. He has 2 frigates, actually 3 frigates. And we just have Tech 2 coming out for Tiep. So it might turn out to be an ocean apiece here in this game because we have Staleway who's about to take over his Navy unquestionably. There's nothing that Killing can do. All these frigates are going to kill all the build capacity, and then those destroyers are going to take care of everything else. Tech 2 point defense coming up for Killing, but he lost his Navy very fast. It's going to be difficult for him to recover from that. If you lose Navy late, you can still come back from it. Or at least you can survive a lot better than if you lose it early. And total air control by SC account. So all sorts of problems going on in the top side of the map for the top team. They've lost the top ocean, and now they've lost air control as well. Carlitos has some ASF, but SC account not afraid of anything, just running all over the map. That's entirely because of the reclaim trick. And Killing has been killed here. So the bottom team is down to 2 players against all 4 of the top team. Killing has been killed. That was kind of funny. So it's going to take a whole bunch of multitasking from Tiep and an SC account, although they are going to get gigantic economies, which is going to help them. So a massive base from SC account. And now Strap Bombers have taken out Yudi, so now suddenly 2v3, so 3 players dead by 17 minutes. That's pretty unique. And Manti being microed around from SC account trying to do something, but now Furball has a huge base as well. He probably wants to get out of the water. He's not going to be able to hold that position for too long. Looks like it's a 100% Tech 2 spam from Tiep. That's all he's going to be making for the next few minutes, it seems, because he's put so many engineers here. That shows that he really wants to spam, but he's getting them very slowly. Enormous mass deficit. That's because I saw him getting RAS. As soon as that's finished, he should be okay. Yeah, he's in decently good shape now. And now a big air fight that looks like... how am I getting PMs? I logged out of FAF. Makes no sense. Anyway, SC account looks like he has more, and he's out microing Carlitos as well. So it's going to be air control once again for the bottom side, although he's going to be losing his bombers, which is never good. And torpedo bombers are going to force Furball out of the water now. And does he have strap bombers coming in to finish him off? I don't know if he does. But with air control, it's going to be pretty easy to take over the top. But we have units. Why am I missing this stuff? Furball is running units throughout the bottom side's base. And SC account spamming up T2 PDs to save his life. And he's going to do a pretty good job, it seems, of taking out these units. But that's going to be a big problem. They're going to need to make a gunship spam or something, which is going to be countered very nicely by the flak. Obviously, they can't go to this side here with Staleway's navy. And Staleway has the freedom to do whatever he wants. He should probably just tech and make a massive cruiser spam. Furball sitting in a decently okay position. He's got the middle now, so he's got a huge economy. And looks like a lot of Tech 1 bombers, which are going to be mopped up by the ASFs of SC account. Although this is bad from SC account, letting his torpedo bombers get away from the main force, and Carlitos takes them out and runs. Very good play from Carlitos to use his limited ASF. He's complaining about the multitasking involved here, which becomes a really big problem once you have so many bases. But SC account and T-Up are getting run over by land from Furball. T2 mexes are going to go down. Point defenses are being spammed up everywhere. The ACU is getting called into action now. Looks like T-Up has both RAS. He can kill all his power generators now. He doesn't need them anymore. And still, SC account has the better of Carlitos. Carlitos is having a big problem catching up. And the bottom side is in big trouble here. Still 2v3, and eventually it's going to translate into a unit cap disadvantage as well. And they have an eco disadvantage because the top team's bases have been pretty well established, while the bottom side has lost 2 bases. And T-Up is saying, let's play the eco game. This is a massive base up here from Furball. Somehow I've missed it. We have off-map drops here. Well, borderline off-map from Furball sneaking past. And lots of mechs is down for T-Up. He needs to deal with those. And this drop here is targeted by the interceptors, but they're never going to get there in time because Tech 1 Air cannot catch these Tech 2 transports, and that was really close to being off map. And that was a very close drop there, but he did get them off. And we have Tech 1 artillery running all around the place for Furball. SC account should be thankful that he has air control because he can make gunships to deal with these, but he's lost a lot of mass. I'm not sure how he's going to come back from it because while he's making those restorers, Carlitos is spamming ASF and trying to get back in the game. Carlitos now going to build on Furball's mass extractors with his ACU. That's very weird. Never seen anyone do that. And destroyers under assault from Tech 1 bombers. This is ridiculous. I've never seen this actually, but it is working. And one destroyer goes down. Here come cruisers though from T-Up. That's gonna make short work of any Tech 1 bombers that are still in the area. It's a lot of bombers from T-Up as well. So T-Up and Furball at minute 23 are using Tech 1 bombers everywhere. SC account saying you better win Navy soon, which would be a good thing for them. And I don't see why it hasn't been done yet. Destroyers and artillery should make it pretty easy. Artillery to take out these torpedo launchers, and then destroyers to clean up everything else. Cruisers to provide air cover. And at this point, this is going to be very difficult to take out. It'll probably require some Tech 3, maybe battleships or something to destroy that island from Furball. Tech 2 air now, a big gunship spam from T-Up, and they are starting to clean up their own side of the map. And lots of reclaim left everywhere by all those dead units from Furball. And the bottom side has to come up with some sort of plan, and right now they are losing SC account not really covering air too well, but Carlitos is taking a lot of fire from these cruisers on his ASF. That's going to be very bad. If your ASF all get half damaged, then you either have to pay a lot to get them repaired, or you have to fight with a disadvantage. And asking if you saved any Cybern tech, which that's another point that I didn't remember. All they have right now is Seraphim and Aeon. They would have had UEF and Cybern, but right now, well, actually we have a GC out from SC account, so they can go on a really big push now, given that they have air control. The top side's going to have to make an experimental of their own to deal with that. And Tech 3 bombers are not very effective against units they can't hit. So that's a pretty big waste of mass from Carlitos. And looks like Tiep has finally taken Furball out of the water, minute 25. So bottom side, finally something went right for them. They've taken over the top ocean. And the next step will, for Tiep at least, will be to take this island back. Because right now he's getting shot at by random stuff. Tech 2 artillery on this island from Furball. And drops still happening. So Tech 1 artillery having a huge impact still this late into the game. And these cruisers from Staleway are going to make this a no-go zone for the bottom side. You could probably make experimentals here or something on the top side. We have Tech 2 land out, so flak. And Quantum Gateway for SC account. And now some arguing between Tiep and SC account trying to figure out what's going on. Not sure what they're talking about. And all these restorers are gonna probably wipe out Furball's base now, and that's gonna might even things out, because then those destroyers can probably push south, and destroyers can contribute a lot to ASF fights, because no matter where they are, they're putting fire on the opponent's ASFs. When targeting from Carlitos, that's not gonna be effective at all. Tech 3 anti-air is the only hope now, and those are easily gonna get picked off by restorers. So it's really going to take a big combination of Tech 3 and Tech 2 anti-air for the tops team. Tech 3 to kill the ASF and Tech 2 to kill the restorers. Although the restorers are having a lot of trouble killing this, I thought restorers were more powerful. Maybe they've received yet another nerf. And we have frigates going after Furball's ACU. He says, "Told you, assholes." Not sure what he's talking about. Furball's going to die for sure. Stackers. It's not really stackers, seeing as it's now 2v2. Furball not quite dead yet. Now he is. So 2v2 now with massive bases and unit cap problems for each player. And this Staleway is running over SC account stuff. Cesar about to be completed, and he could do very well with killing all this stuff. Flak in the mix, so it's going to be difficult for him to deal with it. And he's going to have to do the dance with his ACU to keep it alive against all these artillery pieces. It would be embarrassing to get killed by Tech 1 already at a minute 28 on Setons. You can see the Cesar being built into the side of the hill. Not sure how that works, but it is. And now many aircraft carriers for Staleway producing air. A huge rate. And Tech 3 power. He's got plenty of it. So he should be in good shape in terms of power as well as double RAS. And Tiep's probably thinking about a battleship to just take over this island. That'd probably be the best way. And the air battle rages on. Neither side is able to win it decisively, although these restorers have been very nice. And a massive amount of reclaim for the bottom side if they want to come in and get it. So half an hour and 4 players dead, and now it's 2v2. I'm really curious to see what happens next in this game. Tech 3 air now coming up for Tiep. And still not all max is Tech 3. He might as well come in and reclaim this and get all his master reactors to Tech 3. And then just make Tech 3 power, Tech 3 air, and be in good shape. Because I think right now the bottom side might have the advantage. It only looks like the Staleway does because he's had this ocean for longer. And although Tiep did get a kill, so I guess the score is pretty reflective right now. So Tiep is at a pretty big disadvantage, but SC account is at a very big advantage. So it's going to even itself out nicely. And Tech 1 anti-air is having a big effect on these restorers, taking out one. And it looks like it's not on target fire, but they're automatically targeting the weakest one. And SC account is going to have to retreat against Tech 1 flak and almost loses that one as well. But Cesar coming in, and lots of air out for Staleway from these aircraft carriers. Udi is still there. talking. And when you have this many engineers, it's better to just make a second Tech 2 factory and start spamming out of that as well. Yep, now probably going Tech 3 with his ACU. And this GC, I'm just going to start focusing on the really important stuff. The GC is rolling around and it's going to be walking straight at Carlitos' base. And what is he going to do in response? Normally you would go on a massive mercy spam right now. But I don't see anything that can deal with this GC at the present moment. Now we have Colossus coming up for Carlitos, but there's no way he'll get that in time. He's going to have to think of something fast now. And he might have just noticed it, in fact. Now we have massive mercy spams coming out from Carlitos. That's going to be very close. His ACU is going to have to move, though. He can't sit there and wait for the GC to reach him. It is now moving. And all these mercies are getting piled up here. And he's actually doing something smart here. He's not sending them all in at once. And we've got he's not sending them one at a time. And now we've got a massive air fight between Stalewee and SC Account, which looks like SC Account already has the better of. Gets behind Stalewee. That's probably going to be that. Although Stalewee did look like he had more. And now Carlitos coming in as well, so that's going to be difficult for SC Account. Mercy's going to work on the GC. This is a very bizarre air fight going on now. Looks like just attack moves from both players. And SC Account is going to lose all his ASFs there. Carlitos running for his life while all these Mercies descend on the Colossus. And it is promptly going to get destroyed, you would imagine. These ASFs from SC Account trying to fix that, but it will go down. So great defense from Carlitos. He did lose half his base in the process, including a strategic missile defense. And Tiep mentioned a battleship nuke, which he has a battleship out, which he could probably do well with taking out this island first. And that was intense, but topside survived. That's going to be a big chunk of mass for Carlitos. Probably make his own experimental with that and throw it back. I was just watching the conversation go on. So lots of T3 mexes for Tiep now. He has managed to get his eco back on track. And neither team really seems to know what to do next. This is a GC, a second GC from SC Account. And that's going to go after these cruisers. That's going to be very effective, actually. It can stand on the edge here and hit all these cruisers. Stalewee's going to have to retreat. So that's going to be painful to deal with for Stalewee. He's going to have to use Tech 3 or something, maybe some battleships. Although he's putting all his resources into an ASF spam with the carriers. And this is good stuff from SC Account, moving into the water where the GC can still shoot and pushing away all the destroyers and cruisers from Stalewee. So great move there with the GC. A really hard support commander spam, and I have more PMs coming out, which makes no sense because I seriously did log out of FAF like some people suggested, and it still gives me PMs. Now, mass farming looks like is the name of the game for SC Account next as we move into the 34th minute mark, and neither team is in a position to win. Looks like some assisting. Now, this is something that I want to discourage. Never assist your anti-nuke like this, because it's only 9 NGs. You need like 256 to make a difference. That's actually calculated. Do you need 256? Because this thing has, what's the actual number? 216. Yeah, it's 216, not 256. That's how many NGs you need. So 9 is going to make no difference. 216 would only reduce it by half because this does have a build capacity of 1080. So don't do that. It also just hints to your opponents that this is not loaded. So this is a bad move for 2 reasons. I just want to discourage that for anyone watching this. And now, oh, I forgot that aircraft carriers for Seraphim have missiles as well. It's wreaking havoc on the island here. Looks like they're just as powerful as cruiser missiles. So I actually forgot about that, so I just learned something new. And the GC now, is there any sonar coverage? It looks like there's no sonar for Staleway, so actually what this could do is it could literally skim around here and go into Staleway's base, and he would never know until the last second. And saying hopefully he has no battleship nuke, but he doesn't really need to move in anymore because he has done his job. Lots of reclaim sitting here if anyone wants it. At this point they need to be thinking about game enders, maybe a Mav or a Salvation. Of course the left-hand team is very limited, although the right team is very limited as well. Both teams with only Seraphim and Aeon, and I'm sputtering a lot here for whatever reason, so don't pay attention to me. That made no sense, but don't do it. So, really big Tech 3 air span from TIEP, as well as these aircraft carriers that are also producing air. And this is a pretty boring period of the game. We're going to have a massive scouting run from Carlitos. He's going to try to see what he can spot. And SC account does this thing where when he's assisting his air factor, he uses the assist ground command, which could be a good move, although I'm not sure how far that would get you with packing massive amounts of engineers. And he's having success here, though. I guess that would also prevent your engineers from getting stuck on the factory, which would also be helpful. But to each his own. We have Carlitos using the assist on the factory, which is the more conventional thing to do. And once these scouts come in from Carlitos, which they have, they're going to try to see what they can possibly do. Now we finally have engineers to reclaim this massive field here of reclaim. And now he's saying focus on nukes. How many nukes do they have? Do they have any? It's the next thing to look for are nukes. I don't see any nukes from the left team. And I don't see any nukes from Staleway. Carlitos maybe. I can't tell what's in his base. It doesn't look like he has a nuke either. So no nukes on the field at minute 38. Just Tech 3 air and some ships. Not really much else. And still an obscene amount of reclaim here, just sitting there. It's kind of tragic. People need to go and get that and make stuff. Stay away with engineers somehow getting stuck on each other. That's actually kind of cool looking. And nothing is happening right now. It's actually a little bit boring. Knock it up to +6 because it's not really making a difference. I heard this is epic, so I'm expecting it to heat up pretty soon, but this is the period of Seton's games where it just becomes teching and amassing units. And unit cap is going to become a big problem in this sort of situation where it's a 2-on-2. Neither team really has the room to make a ridiculous amount of units. And this forward position from SC account is under threat. And now we might see another air engagement here if Carlitos comes in as well. And that would really speed the game up because people would start attacking more if one team decisively won air. But at this point, they're both too scared to do anything because of the air threat. And now we have some nice work from SC account, dropping engines next to the Cesar wreck. Actually, I missed what happened with this Cesar, I think. I don't remember anything with it. But apparently it's dead, and it's going to be reclaimed by SC account, so he's going to get his mass back, assuming he kills this engine in time, of course. $97 kills for that GC. Some very important ones, as it bought some time for SC account. And he might actually get this position up and running if he gets enough tactical missile defense. That's going to be a big step towards securing this location again. If they can get their beach base back, they'll have an advantage. And now we have quantum gateways for Carlitos as well. And just out of curiosity, which person has reclaimed the most? SC account with 35,000, Carlitos 55,000, Staleway 38,000, and TIEP 23,000. So Carlitos by far has reclaimed the most. and still reclaiming quite heavily from this GC. That's giving him so much mass. And just look at the sheer amount of restorers from Carlitos. That's absolutely ridiculous from him. And hopefully people aren't getting too bored by this. I might put the time that the game starts to pick up as soon as it does. And nukes probably aren't an option anymore because all players with SMD all over the place. Although TEPS isn't loaded. There's no way for the top team to know that, of course, though. Now we're getting into the 40-plus minute mark. This is officially late game on Setons. That's about the time that's considered officially the late game. And now we have something inadvertent here. Carlitos moved an engineer that's promptly shot by a whole bunch of missiles, which are going to take away a lot of the value of this reclaim. The more you shoot a reclaimable, the less it's worth. And that air crash is going to take away even more. So it's something bizarre that happens, but it does happen. So that just became significantly less of a prize for whoever can hold on to it. And now an experimental being started close by. And Carlitos is saying he's going to clean up the Navy, which he could do. This is probably going to be something exciting, finally. All these restorers coming in to destroy. And this is really a bit of an overkill. If you were one of these ships and you saw that, I think you'd panic a little bit. No, I would. This looks like something Spastix would put in one of his movie scenes. What'd they say? So, it looks like this is going to provoke a massive air fight. All players are probably going to send their ASFs in. And I somehow doubt that the bottom side can win air, because all these restorers could probably take on all those ASFs by themselves, let alone the amount of ASFs that Staleway has. Now we have a massive air engagement between Staleway, SC account, and TEP. And here TEP is getting in behind. That's going to be bad for Staleway. Getting caught by TEP. TEP continues his path though. And Staleway got behind SC account, but TEP is behind Staleway. So it's going to be a massive killing zone here. And a lot of damage will be taken by these restorers from the cruiser, which with its area of effect. That's going to be painful. And now Carlitos intervenes. And these restorers need to get involved if they want to win this air fight. Because right now it looks like TEP and SC account might be getting the better. Yeah, once these restorers get involved, I can't imagine them losing this air fight. Even at range, they're going to destroy a lot of ASFs. So just the sheer amount of firepower from these restorers. Still, he says he doesn't know how to micro. Looks like a support commander running around randomly for SC account. So even though it looks like the bottom side just won air, they really haven't, because how many restorers are there here? 185 restorers. That's just absurd from Carlitos. And if he moved those in, he could probably wipe out an entire base, but he's not doing that for whatever reason. So a brief period of action before more of a dull period. And I'm hearing some shots, but I can't tell where they're coming from. They're not from there. I still hear them though. What the hell? I wish someone could explain to me what's going on. Now, if I'm missing something important here, I apologize, but it sounds like a gunship. Ah, there it is. That was weird, but I found it. It was killing those engineers. Oh, yeah, okay. I understand. So that was mildly entertaining, and a huge quantity of engineers being transported out from SC account. Finally going to go after this mass, you would think. That's a huge number of engineers, probably in the vicinity of 60 or 70 engineers. And TF asking for some Eye of Rian. And a nuke out for SC account. And I wonder if there's any other nukes in production for him. I don't see any. Still just a straight up restore spam from Carlitos. That has worked out pretty well. So he's going to continue with that. And a Paragon is now started for Carlitos. That's going to... I don't know if this is a joke or what, but he is honestly starting a Paragon, which is now being worked on by a Tech 3 engineer. And we'll see how far he gets with that. Tiep saying we need something big, which is probably true. SC Account says not yet. I'm curious to see what they have in mind. Because if Carlitos is seriously considering this Paragon, and if he gets that, which is extremely difficult to get, by the way, Paragon is the second most expensive unit in the game. But assuming he does get that, it's going to be very, very difficult for the bottom side, because if you are allowed to get a Paragon, and then you're given 2 minutes, you'll be able to get every game ender you could ever imagine. It's going to be a massacre. And I apologize, that was a weird blip. My screen just minimized itself. I'm getting some weird lag here. Tempest being tried to be spammed up by SC Account. It's not working out too well. That is one brave frigate, I have to say. It impresses me. He's getting shot at by artillery and is probably blown out of the water. It's going to rest on the bottom of the sea now. And I'm not sure what SC Account has in mind here. Maybe he didn't even go after the mass. This is just for asking why TF didn't make a fleet. And he says they need a cruiser spam, which is probably the right idea here. They do need a cruiser spam. So SC is right about that. And now they're talking about a nuke spam. So maybe the idea with this is to go Tech 3 and get missile ships. That would be a nice idea. And some frigates moving over there for Tieb and just checking that there's no Navy starter or whatever. And Carlitos looks like he might seriously be thinking about this Paragon here. He hasn't really put any build capacity on it though. Now he has. And all these engineers are sacrificing themselves. That's not going to... Tiep says sea dominated with 3 frigates. So that was kind of weird. But this isn't really the best way to get a Paragon, because if you think about it, it needs like... Well, actually, let's check it exactly. Paragon needs 250,000 mass, and each one of those engineers is 50 mass, and it doesn't even contribute its entire worth. So you can imagine you need like 50,000 engineers. No, you need a lot more than that at Tech 1 engineers to make a Paragon. So all those sacrifice engineers did basically nothing. You can see it added maybe 20 health points. It's barely anything. And I am hearing experimentals. Yeah, the experimental from Staleway has been completed, and it promptly meets a GC and artillery fire. That's going to be a nice juicy gift from Staleway to the bottom side. And GC's going to run away from the dead chicken. Actually, if it dies underwater, I don't think it leaves that deadly cloud. Although, I guess since this is shallow water, it will. If it died out here, for example, it wouldn't have left that. and another one immediately being formed by Staleby, so he's not waiting for anyone. He's going to go right back ahead and probably get the win this time. He's going to try to take out this little base here with that chicken. And now we have Tempest has been constructed in the corner by Seton. That's great play from him. And now we have aircraft carriers in the top ocean for him as well. So SC playing everywhere. Very good play from him. And now we have one restorer is going to take back the ocean for Carlitos. And now all these engineers could easily reclaim this. And if he gets that much mass, he can put a lot of build capacity on the Paragon. And Tech 2 air transport with 4 SCUs on it. He really doesn't want to lose that. That would be that'd be a tragedy if that got lost. And like TF said earlier, they really do need to make some sort of big unit. They have a really big nuke spam from Carlitos. He's working on his 3rd launcher. I'm not sure if he actually has more or not. And speaking of nukes, SC has a nuke launcher back here, which is loaded. He hasn't fired yet. These might just be on a reclaiming detail, which is interesting. And the second chicken has come out for Staleby. It's going to run into restorers in the GC, so that's going to be killed. Can't imagine that chicken having any success. It's going to be another gift for SC to pick up. That has gone down now. And 99 kills for that GC. Lots of Tech 3 bombers for Carlitos. And Staleby is presenting the bottom side with a gift here. Running his ASF in, which is not a good move without Carlitos' support. And he's going to probably lose all of these because unless he has the best micro in the world, he can't compete with 2 players. And that was a really big mistake by Staleby there, right before minute 49. And it's going to give bottom side a huge advantage, because they are going to win air here temporarily. That's going to give them massive numbers advantage over Carlitos in terms of air. And lots of aircraft carriers being amassed for Tino or SC account. Not sure what he's going to do with those. And this Tempest will probably get killed. Although, actually no, because that was the torpedo bombers, which have now been taken out by the massive air force of the bottom side. And the bottom side now with air control, there's no way they're going to lose air now. Staleby just threw away all his ASFs. Now it's 2v1, and the bottom side barely lost any in that exchange. With air control, game enders are definitely in the cards. Or on the cards, I'm not sure how that British expression goes. And now Carlitos putting some more build capacity in the Paragon, but still not nearly enough to get it up in any reasonable time span. And SC account is saying kill something, but TF wants to go straight for a salvation. They could definitely do it if they reclaim down here and as well as in the top ocean. Both oceans are full of mass now for both teams to reclaim if they want. So they're going to make a Yelena Os, which is the experimental nuke. And that might be a better idea than the Salvation, but I actually like the Salvation more. Salvations are by far anything but useless Actually, they will easily win the game if you leave them alone for, say, 3 minutes. They will wipe out anything on the map with proper micro. They are like Mavers. Mavers are better, but Salvations are pretty close. And now we're about to have 2 nukes out for Carlitos. And 1.5 nuke for SC account. He's got Patrons, which are the missile defenses out. And now Control King is Tech 1 NGs. And he's going to be switching up his production to these aircraft carriers, trying to reduce the unit cap. Because as I've mentioned for the last 20 minutes or so, both teams have been limited by their unit cap because it is 2v2. And I forgot again about aircraft carriers that they have really nice anti-air, so I haven't built these in a while, so I have to get used to them again. And Tiep says he's going to make it now, so I'm not sure what he is going to make. And Tempest is finally going to be killed, you would imagine. It's going to be a big engineer pop. Actually, it missed. Oh, that's going to be tragic if that gets killed. That's 4 SCUs in there. It is going to get killed. So big loss for Tiep there. That's a lot of mass invested. Even at this stage of the game, 40,000 mass or so is pretty big. And that's going to be a lot of damage on the Carlitos ASFs with those cruisers. They're going to die fast, but they are going to do a lot of splash. So we might see yet another prolonged air fight here. The restorers are the target. This is going to be a really big slowdown. Looks like just a bunch of attack commands. I'd like to see what sort of micro he's using here, if he's microing at all. So the first 2 players engaged, and now reinforcements for both teams as Staleway and Tiep get involved. As the account says we win. Staleway is coming in. He might make it a little bit interesting. And lots of restorers still alive, so I wouldn't count the top team out of this air fight yet. Yeah, I switched up to strategic bombers from SC account. Looks like he's been doing that for a while. This is just going to be even more mass in the top side ocean. It's going to be ridiculous. The ASF have been given over to SC account in mid-fight. I want to see what the sim speed is. We are at -6. Not too bad for a fight of this caliber. And like I said, the top team is still with a very good chance in this air fight. And Staleway is getting behind SC account here. This is a very important moment here. You can see the ASF's turning. And if the bottom side lose this air fight, then it's still going to be a very close and very tense game. Tiep is trying to make a difference here with anti-air, some SAMs. But I think the top team are going to win this. I honestly do. SCCon says, okay, we don't win. Those ASFs from Staleway certainly made the difference. Now the top side has more. And now there's so much mass sitting here that if someone could reclaim all of that, they could get a game ender for almost nothing. We have this Paragon almost a fifth of the way done for Carlitos. If he gets that done, that's going to be a big boost. He's already a fifth of the way on there, so that was fast. And now he's in a position to reclaim this entire ocean. He's already got engineers there. These SCUs need to make some naval factories to spam engineers or just reclaim themselves. Because right now the top side looks very deadly. And 3 nukes now for Carlitos. We have almost 2 for SC account. Nuke them maybe. I'm not sure what he's talking about. He says, I think, well, oh wait, I missed this. We have strap bombers now rolling in, or flying in from SC account, and Carlitos cannot possibly die here. He's got both shields actually, so he's not going to die anytime soon. He's got both ACU personal shields. And actually these are going to get blown out of the sky before they even get there. Now we've got a nuke being launched for SC account. He's got a second one that looks like is going to be launched next. Unlucky strats. They wouldn't have done much anyway. With both ACU shields, it's almost impossible to kill. Yeah, I barely took any damage there. She knocks the shield to about 75%. And where's this nuke going? Is he nuking TF? Oh, he was trying to nuke the restorers, I was gonna say. The experimental missile launcher is a fourth of the way done for TF. He got that pretty fast, although that's still very far from being complete. Tech 2 subs somehow get in here from Carlitos, attacking the main base. And where is TF's ACU? He's sitting here, observing the onslaught, sitting in his little swimming pool. That's a very dangerous thing. If you're sitting there and your base gets overrun. We have mass fabs being the target here. Massive chain reactions. He needs to finish that. And going after support commanders now. And absolute havoc being wreaked in TF's base here. He's lost some nuke defenses, power gens, mass fabs. Mass fabs are now the target once again. Huge stuff being lost. 55 minutes in, and the top side is in a very good position here. This TF's base is getting absolutely demolished. Support commanders being rampantly killed here. Eco demolished. But at the same time, it leaves a huge amount of mass floating on TF's head. So he could reclaim all that and get quite a boost. Also spamming up Tech 3 anti-air. Looks like Carlitos is finally satisfied and is leaving. And that was quite the attack from Carlitos. Now a response nuke. 2 nukes from Carlitos. He's going to launch the third. Yeah, 3 nukes now from Carlitos. And are they spread out or are they going to try to overwhelm one spot? Looks like they're going to be spread out across TF's base. That's going to be devastating. Although 2 anti-nukes in the launcher for TF, it's going to depend on where these are placed. Yeah, 1 goes down, the next goes down, but the third nuke will hit. And it's a question of where it hits. It went after TF's ACU in the pond, so minimal damage for TF, really. That could have been a lot worse. Loses quite a few power generators there, but really not nearly as bad as that nuke could have been. If that had been taken out by the restorers and the nukes were spread out, TF would probably be out of the game. And yet another nuke from Carlitos. Looks he's not happy yet. Just as I said, it could have been worse. I think Carlitos is about to make it worse. Holy hell. These people don't... How many nukes do they have? That's another 3 nukes. 6 nukes in like a minute, and they're all going after T-Up. Wow. I'm actually genuinely amused right now. T-Up's base is about to disappear. It's going to be a pile of rubble. There goes one nuke. It's descending. Yeah, another nuke falls. If one had nuked the naval production, that would also be nice. And that's a huge hole in T-Up's base now. Although some of those nukes were a bit redundant. And leaves the missile defense still alive. SCA says don't worry about eco. And SCUs are pretty useful once you get RAS on them. And the experimental nuke is still in production. Speaking of that, how's the Paragon coming along? The Paragon is halfway done. Actually, much more than halfway done. 3/5, 60% of the way done on that Paragon. 61% to be precise. And that's going up at a very nice rate. More nukes. Another nuke from Stay Away. So the 7th nuke that's been launched by the top team. And an 8th is about to be ready. Oh, look at this. 2 GCs from SC account. This is going to be payback time for all that nuking. And the bottom side is talking about a Paragon as well. Which could be a good move. They probably have a better eco. And they have access to all this reclaim.
Strategic launch detected.
And the 8th nuke out before 7th one got shot down. And all these 2 GCs are going to wreak havoc. They're going to kill all these nukes. Stay Away is running out of the water. He should just stay in the water. Don't run where you might get killed. Yeah, these nukes are gone. But where did that 8th nuke go? It's coming down here. And it might actually land. Yeah. So the beach is once again gone for the bottom side. It hasn't been operational since about 15 minutes in. We are now past an hour into the game. And still no clear winner in sight. Both teams have done exceptional damage to the others. And now with 2 GCs on 2 GCs, Carlitos brings 2 GCs out of nowhere. 2v1 now, no way back for SC account, but he did do enough damage. Mercy's also getting involved, restores, so very quick to respond from Carlitos, and actually 1 nuke is still alive. Very lucky break for Stelwy. Where is the Paragon being made? That's what I'd like to know. It is back here. No protection for it. Some anti-teleport protection would probably be nice. And now a nuke from SC account. That'll be interesting to see where he's launched that. T-Up now has 1 nuke defense. And that could actually hit right here and be devastating. Looks like he's not shooting over there, but that could be amazing. And another nuke from SC account. T-Up should just reclaim this or give these SCUs to SC account to reclaim. Oh, that's going to be a great nuke from SC account. Lots of power is going to be killed. Yeah, that was nice. Really, in late game settings, power is really the most important thing. Because mass is no problem once you have this much reclaim available. But power really dictates how much stuff you can make. And more damage being done to the top team. SC account nuking nicely. And about, it's sort of okay, but Carlitos has almost finished his Paragon. Now, and where's this nuke coming from? It's the 9th nuke from the top team. And where is this going? I'm trying to judge this. If it's going after all these aircraft carriers, it could potentially be nice. I can't tell if it's... I think it's going after the island, actually. We have got nuke defense for T-Up on the island, though, so that's not going to be too successful. Yeah, it has gotten shot out of the air. This might have been a great place to nuke, though, to kill all these SUs and prevent reclaiming. So, 41%. On the bottom side's Paragon, but Carlitos has his Paragon up and running. There will be no limit to how much stuff he can make now. Now all he has to worry about is build capacity.
Strategic launch detected.
Now, if the top side has UEF or Cyburn, they would have been in absolutely amazing condition, but as it is, they're limited by their Tech 1 NGs, which can be pretty annoying. No limit now as to how much stuff Carlitos can make, though, because no matter how much mass and energy he spends, the Paragon will adjust. You can see right now it's producing 113, but it can produce up to 10,000 mass and a million energy. Literally, those are the amounts. And I think with the build capacity the bottom side has, they might be in better shape to make a Paragon than the top side, or to use it, I mean. Tiep commenting on the necessity of an underwater nuke defense. That'd be kind of nice. Although in vanilla they did have amphibious nuke defenses, which you could build on water. I thought that was good. Unfortunately, you can't do that now. But I think being able to build nuke defense on water would be nice. And I want to know if the bottom side knows about this. So they're in the dark as to the fact that Carlitos has this Paragon up and running. And now he has options. He can make 10 salvations, 50 nukes, something like that. And it would be no problem to get all those. Now, he says he's scouting, and if he scouts and sees that Paragon, that's going to be a cause to panic, because once both teams get a Paragon, it's going to turn into an amazing, epic spam war of experimentals and other shit. Really, I haven't seen a sentence where both teams get a Paragon. It's going to be epic. Staleway doesn't really have a base to speak of, but bases are unimportant once you have unlimited resources. You can see more than 1,000 is being produced now, as Carlitos goes all out on this salvation to try and get it. These Tempests have cleaned up on all the aircraft carriers. They were defenseless. And more PMs. What the hell? It's as if they can see me even when I'm logged out. But suddenly this game got very interesting, even though it was boring earlier. I'm actually getting excited. Looks like this location was nuked by the top side, and now a battleship nuke from Tiep. And where is this going? Oh man. He gets it right next to the ASFs and nukes them. That was great. Tiep, I have to give you a lot of credit for that. That was amazing. That is one thing you can do. You can move right next to your target, and there's no way you can dodge in time. But that was something special. That was literally awesome. These Tempai are in danger of being killed. And what is he talking about? Do they have a salvation, or is he talking about Carlitos? Yeah, they do have a Paragon, and the bottom side is about to get their Paragon as well, but they're behind in terms of making game enders. And actually, the first target for Carlitos with this salvation should be to kill the bottom side's Paragon. Because if he kills that, he's going to be in a very big winning position. If he had 100 engineering stations, he'd be able to take full advantage of his Paragon, but as it is, he is unable to do that. But finally, a Paragon is up and running for the bottom side as well, and you can see immediately SC account is using it to a much bigger degree than Carlitos was. And now SC account does the smart thing. He's given all his mass ejectors and power gens to Tiep, relying totally on the Paragon, which is a very good move. It basically gives Tiep an enormous economy and allows SC account to keep spamming stuff. And now this salvation is shooting, and like I said, the most important target should be this Paragon. That would effectively shut down the bottom side. SC account is using over 5,000 mass from that Paragon. Absolutely ridiculous. Not sure what he's making with all that mass. Caesars, salvations. Emissaries coming up for Tiep. So at this point, reclaim is not really an issue once you have a Paragon. Resources aren't an issue. The game is no longer a problem. And I want to see if Carlitos can see this. Can see something there. The scouts simply aren't getting through, which is tragic. If you could just see that, then he would be able to target it with his salvation, and then he'd be in amazing shape. Where is this targeting anyway? Oh man, that's painful. That really is painful. Yeah, so 6,000 mass being used from this Paragon, as well as 120,000 power. And this salvation is being produced very quickly by SC account. And he's getting blanketed by fire from Carlitos' salvation. And a second Paragon almost up. This is where all that mass was being spent. Once he gets that second Paragon, he can give it to Tiep, and then they'll have unlimited resources once and for all. And now Yolona Us being produced by SC account, the experimental nuke. And he's still only using his Paragon to half potential. Now the work is being split between both Paragons. Now Carlitos has to at least see this one. That should be his priority now. And what is this targeting? I can see as an attack move. Now he can see both Paragons. So this is his first target for whatever reason. I guess he's trying to start a chain reaction, but he's not going to kill any eco, because obviously the eco is coming from the Paragons. Shield's almost down now. As this game really heats up here at an hour 1:10. Cesar is now being spammed up by SC account, so he's immediately transitioning into fully using his unlimited resources, just going all out on them. Still using about 6,000 mass total. See, yeah, he's spending 6,000 and not having any eco problems in the slightest. Now Salvation's out for the bottom side as well. And I want to see what that's targeting. Although it's not targeting anything at the moment, it's just on auto fire. You see the rate at which it fires makes it such a great unit. That's why I like the Salvation. And the area of effect also makes it great. Yeah, Tiep has some Seraphim tech on the island. But right now he's basically making all Aeon tech. It's been given over to him by SC account. And this could be extremely bad. If they lose this, it's going to cause a massive explosion, which will not only kill this, but it's going to take away a whole bunch of economy. He still has the spare Paragon, but this is going to be bad for him if he loses this. And it has almost no health, and the next shell will probably take it out. At least you would think it would. Looks like a lot of lag here. Are we? Yeah, because we're having an air fight. Screw the air fight. I want to see what happens down here. Tech 2 shield now trying to hold its own against the Salvation. That's never going to work. And now on 380 HP. And is it going to die now? Yes, the massive explosion that greets the death of a Paragon. The Salvation is down for the bottom side. As the air battle of the century kicks off now. And I'm not even going to try to guess what's happening in here. Still, he doesn't really have a base left, it seems. And just basically sitting there not doing much. Carlitos is doing most of it. And like I said, I'm not even going to try to decide what's going on there. You see the explosion still hasn't stopped because of the immense lag. I'm going to see the sim speed we're on. Oh, -5. So a little bit faster than the one before, which is kind of strange. So now the full workload of SC accounts production is on this one Paragon, which is now producing almost 7,000 mass. When it's still not at its limit yet, it can still produce up to 10,000, so SC account is still within a comfort zone here. Looks like that was a very fast cleanup for Carlitos. Where did all that ASF from SCA account go? I can't find it. So while I was not paying attention, looks like everything has gotten killed. Very big win for the top team. And this Paragon was almost taken out. But Carlitos, does he have a spare Paragon as well? I saw him making a second one. But I cannot find it for my life. Here it is. Salvation. Where did the first Salvation go? I don't see it. Did the first Salvation get killed? Might have been. And these battleships are absolute toast compared to these. And these emissaries aren't really going to do much. Even Tech 3 artillery installations are ineffective at this stage on Setons. An hour and 13 minutes. Still 6,000 mass produced. And now, what just happened? What have I missed? The Paragon for Carlitos certainly got killed. But what was it? What happened there? Oh, from the battleships. Nice job, Tiep. That was actually nice. No, the battleships couldn't have reached there. Was it a teleport? I can't tell, but Carlitos has to be bottlenecking on mass right now. Yeah, his eco is suddenly screwed because he had that Paragon. Now, with Carlitos having the advantage, it's now switched, and the bottom side has the advantage. And when both sides have a Paragon, it really does come down to who can use it better. And SC account has certainly used it to its full potential. Now he has a Yolona Os, and if the game was not over, it's going to be over with that. And there's no way that Carlitos will be able to defend against that. Oh, the emissary took out the Paragon. So, right as I was saying that emissaries are useless, and then it goes and basically wins the game for the bottom side. Now, the first nukes are being fired off from the Yolona Os. And even though Carlitos has a ridiculous amount of SMD, it's just going to get slowly whittled away by the experimental nuke. He's got 13 missiles, but that'll be taken down pretty quickly by all these experimental nukes. So he's not even going to care. He's just going to fire them blindly. And actually, this one's going to land. It's out of range. It's terribly unlucky. And there's the massive wave as everything is going to go kaflooey.
Strategic launch detected.
And no breathing room before the next nuke is inbound. Actually, this one has 3 in it, so it's going to keep firing and firing. So many nukes in this game. Wow. It's the bottom side's turn to just nuke relentlessly. An hour and 16 minutes. There have been longer games, but this is certainly one of the longer ones. It's a beautiful missile there. And now it's just really the top side waiting to be killed. They know there's nothing they can do. Look at all the scorch marks. So I thought Carlitos had the advantage. And he really just should have taken his artillery and killed all the Paragons. If there was a way to snipe this right now, he'd be able to completely shut down everything that SC account has. But for now, the whole map will be littered with SC account's nukes and TEP's artillery shells. So 1 nuke gets defended against, 4 left in there, so down to 9 missiles from 13 earlier. And the next nuke is already ready. So this is why it overwhelms SMDs. It builds so fast, and it takes 2. It takes 2 to shoot it down, and it builds so fast that it just overwhelms them in no time. Oh, and Awasa. And Awasa was going after the Paragon, but it just promptly got killed. The Awasa has been one neglected unit in this game. So many donuts. They are going to get attacked by all these ASFs, though. They might all die here, actually. If the bottom side doesn't respond in time, Carlitos is going to be able to kill all these Caesars. Very nice pickup for him, but it's really feudal right now. No matter what they do, they're going to lose. and 2 salvations, it seems, from the bottom side. Shield spam, flak spam. This is impenetrable right now. You cannot possibly kill anything in this base. And a second Yolona Os now out. So great use of a Paragon from SC account, and he's basically won the game now. I know I've said that so many times, but I'm expecting it to end sometime soon. Carlitos is now under direct fire, taking fire from artillery at distance. Five emissaries. So while one emissary might not be great, 5 of them certainly are. That is 400,000 mass. You could have made 2 salvations with that. This is what? How much mass is SC account spending? Spending 5,000. I thought I saw 2 Paragons. It's weird. Strange stuff. Oh yeah, because 1 Paragon belongs to Tiep. That makes sense. It's spending 2,000. And a massive Restorer versus Restorer fight here, and here it comes down to numbers, which Carlitos has. And I'm just waiting for his base to start disappearing. Down to 5 missiles, when he had 13 earlier. He's got 3 more back here, so it's going to take a few minutes to whittle him down, but it'll happen eventually. Now battleships with their insanely weak torpedoes coming in. Actually, Seraphim don't even get torpedoes. And these Restorers are actually going to go to town here. They might actually get all those. But with two experimental nukes. To defend against that, you need about, I think it's, since it's 9 per nuke, and then you need another one. So I think it's about 20 anti-nukes that you need to defend from this sort of thing. 2 Yolona Osses, you need 20 anti-nukes. And more salvations for Tiep. We've already got salvations for SC account.
Strategic launch detected.
Donut slices in the water. Absolutely obscene amounts of reclaim available. And actually, if these GCs take out that, if they target the Paragon, dude, that was tragic. They could have taken it out, and that would have been a stylish ending to the game. It's just the sheer amount of fire that's going down on the top team. There's like 4 salvations, 4 or 5. Just absolutely obscene. And then all these Yolona Osses firing all over the map. Actually, Carlito's still making some progress here. Oh, the flak will easily take care of that. And the first nukes are starting to hit into Carlitos' deep base. And now, this is like the part in chess where you know you've won, and it's just finding a way to finish the game off.
Strategic launch detected.
More nukes from Still. We're still trying, which is nice. And he's actually got another one in here. So he's still trying to make some sort of impact, but that's not going to happen. When he launches 1 normal nuke, 2 experimental nukes in response, and you can see the amount of shells that are being fired across the map. Just the sheer carnage.
Strategic launch detected.
So a minute, I mean not a minute, an hour and 22 minutes.
Strategic launch detected.
Looks like the game is finally over. 3 Yolana Osses out now for SC account.
Strategic launch.
And just firing them out relentlessly here. GGs are finally thrown out. Took a while. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. I certainly did. Because it's over. It's not officially over, but
Strategic launch.
it's unofficially over. Nuke's now going sideways across. Probably they're going after the pawn now, and that'll probably put an end to the game. Actually, that got defended against.
Strategic launch detected.
Awasas now. If those take out the Paragon, I would be impressed, but I think 2 of them could have done the trick, but 1 alone isn't going to do it. The air crash, though, might have killed it if it had been... If that had died a little bit farther forward, the air crash could have killed it, but that was not to be, unfortunately.
Strategic launch detected.
Stailway is now doing the walk of shame before a nuke is going to land right next to him, and he survives. And the donuts are coming in, so death by donut. And Stailway is killed by a delicious breakfast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did. That was long and entertaining. And I'll see you guys next time. This is Napalm signing.